Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel where we talk about manga, manhwa, and sometimes books. For today's video, as you guys already know and saw, I'm going to talk about all the manga I read in the month of November. And without any further ado, let's get started. November was the month I think I read the most manga, with a total of 11 or 12 volumes. Honestly, I did not count and I don't feel like counting. So I'm going to start with this bio and then we're going to talk about that one, and then at the very last, a very big surprise for me. I was not expecting to like that one a lot. So we're going to start with the BL manga that I read in the month of November. So I read My Dear Agent, which follows two bodyguards. They essentially protect the son of a very rich guy. And if you are new to this channel, I forget characters' name very easily. So yeah, I'm not even going to try to remember them. So this is a VL, again, following two bodyguards, and we basically follow them and falling in love with one another. This guy already has a crush on him, which his name is it Richie? Yes, here are the names: Richie and Tachibana. So this is Tachibana and this is Richie. So Tachibana already has a crush on Richie and he just wants him to fall in love with him and start dating, but Richie is very shy and he has never been in a relationship, so he's very afraid to be in one, and so he keeps pushing Tachibana away from him. But basically he is like any other romance manga and BL and book, you name it. They are obviously going to fall in love and get together, which happens until the very end, where there is a big plot twist with Tachibana, right? So, oh, look how cute. Rich is super cute. And there's the love confession. And yeah, I really enjoyed reading this one. I feel like it's a very cutesy type of manga. Honestly, it's not the best one I've read, but it's also not bad. It's entertaining. It did its job. And so I really like this one. And let's move on to the other one, which is Fangs. Now, Fangs is a BL vampire manga where these two are vampires and we follow them in their because there's an agency that basically pairs vampires with another vampire to avoid humans getting attacked, and that's their job, to pair up vampires with one another and get them a pair that is suitable for them. But there is a vampire that is going to come and ruin all of that, and that he shows up. It's this guy towards the very end of the volume. So again, another cliffhanger, and that they have history. They have history. And again, I don't remember the characters' names. That's it. Oh, it's En and Ichi. En is this guy and Ichi is the other one, the one that got kissed. Oops. You guys, this is the risk of talking about a BL manga. It's like, it's hard to remember. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like this being the second volume, we are just barely touching the plot of the story. So although it is a very good volume and it's a very good way to build up the story as to what is going to become in the following volume, I do really enjoyed it. The art is beautiful, it's amazing. It is rated M, this one, and this one too. Both of them are rated 18 plus. And moving on to the other BL that's also 18 plus. It's the third volume of Megumi Tsugumi. This cover, if you want to know what an Omega verse is, look for it yourself. I will not be explaining that, but this volume was very wholesome. We get to see Megumi and Tsugumi grow their relationship and grow their affection for one another, and how their relationship is becoming very healthy, and how they plan to get married. Yeah, that's Megumi Tsugumi. I'm not going to talk more about it, but yeah. So those are the 3 BLs I read in the month of November. I liked all of them. I really did enjoy reading all of this. So let's move on to the shonen. I think this is more thriller, horror, shonen type of story, and that is I Can Stop Cursing You. I read the first volume. And the second one. I think this is a very short series. I think it only has 4 volumes and it ends in the 4th one. So I Can Stop Cursing You will follow this guy who is a curse breaker. So in this world, in this place, in this era, there's a way you can call upon a curse god and curse other people depending on what type of god you got. It's you need to follow its rules on how to curse your other people. So the first story starts in a high school where this guy who is, it's a parody on the shoujo prince character. You guys all know what I'm talking about. In every shoujo there's a guy that's called the prince because he's handsome, and that scared me. Give me a minute.
Few moments later.
Okay, what was I saying? Yes, so this character is a parody of a shoujo character that is used a lot. I feel like we all have seen that character in whatever shoujo you have read, a character that's very handsome, very sweet, and it's called a prince, but sometimes that character tends to be very mean to our main girly, and that's this guy. He pretends to be nice, but in reality he's the one that's causing all this mayhem, this problem with the curse god. And so with every curse case, this guy is called because he has a power that allows him to figure out who the one that created the curse is and how to break it. So yeah, it's a very interesting thriller mystery type of manga. Although you know who the one creating all this mess is, it's very interesting to see and figure out along with the characters what is happening and how this came to be, how he came to be such a horrible person. And yeah, so this volume covers that story, and in the second volume we get another case of another cursed user that basically made a deal with a cursed god. And so that's the second case, and so each volume covers a different case. So I did really enjoy this to the point where I do plan on buying the other volumes, and I will talk about those when I get them. So yeah, so if you're into horror or thriller or mystery and you haven't read this, maybe give this a try. Moving on to, okay, I need to say this first because I wanted to get the Japanese versions of these ones because they were not being translated in English. So it's Tokyo Aliens. I heard a lot of really good things about this, and so because it wasn't going to be translated back when I learned about this, I was very disappointed. But can you imagine my excitement when it was announced that it was getting an English translation? I was so happy, and I'm so happy I finally have them. So basically in this world, there's aliens. Well, not only in Japan but in the entire world. But Japan is the place where I feel like they have them more controlled. Basically, they make sure that the alien is in planet Earth with papers, with the permission of whatever country they're in, and if they're not, they need to get those aliens out of the planet and send them back to the planet they came from. But there is another story behind all of this, because not every alien that's in this planet is there to be good or to, travel, be a tourist in whatever place they're in, because there's some that are mean, and that's where the alien force comes in, which they take care of the problematic aliens they need to get rid of. And so our main character, which is this guy who is very nervous, he's a very nervous character. He doesn't like to interact with a lot of people. I feel like he doesn't know how to interact with people, but he decides to be part of this agency, alien control agency. I'm not sure if I can't remember that's the actual name, but he decides to be part of it and fight and help protect the planet from those that come to damage. And this is where he goes to do his training. And this thing right here is an alien that has already been to the planet and to destroy it, basically. And that's someone they fear is going to be back. And so we followed that this guy's journey, which, let's see, Akira, it says right there. So this guy's name is Akira, and yeah, that's the name of our main character, which is this guy again. And then there's this guy who is going to be his partner. And that's basically the story of Tokyo Aliens. Well, it's not all of it. I feel like I made the plot of the story sound very simple, but it's actually very good. Different type of shonen you could read. Yeah. So if you're interested in reading something different, something that's not, it follows the same rules of every shonen, but it is very different in how it's being played in the plot of the story, definitely give this a try. That's the first one and the second one, and so far there's only 5 volumes. Let's move on to every shoujo I read. So I somehow managed to read a lot of shoujo. So let's start with A Scent of Affection. I don't think I said that right. A Scent of Affection. So this is a very cute type of shoujo. We follow Juki. I'm looking for the names. What's his name? Itsu. Let's call him Itsu. So we follow Juki, and Itsu has a disability which she cannot hear. She's deaf, and so she communicates with sign language. And then we have Itsu, who's a guy that's very interested in learning about culture and other languages. And when he meets Juki, I feel like he's very intrigued by her. He becomes very interested. As for Yuki, she completely falls for him at first sight, which is something I have said this before, but I don't like when there's a love at first sight with, it doesn't matter what it is, if it's a book or a manga. I don't like when the characters fall in love when after they first met. But I think it's only Juki that falls first, because I don't feel like Itsu is has fallen for her. I feel like he's just trying to get to know her. And that's the first volume, and yeah, basically it's just them interacting with one another and Yuki trying to communicate her feelings towards him. But it's obviously hard, but Itsui is such a great guy, and he's always trying to find a way to communicate with her. whether it's through text or he's also trying to learn sign language. So yeah, and that's the first volume. I feel like it's a very cute manga. It's a very cute shoujo. It is different from a lot of other ones that I've read. Not so much like it's new, but it is different. I do plan on giving this the other volumes a try and see how I feel after reading more of this, since I only did read the first one. But yeah, that's the first volume. And then I read Imakoi. So I have already talked about this because I read it in the month of August, if I remember correctly. I read the first 3 volumes, and forget everything I said about characters falling in love at first sight, because these two get together after meeting once. Like, honestly, only they met once at a train station, was it? Or inside a train or whatever. But they get together very fast. And that, I felt like I was not going to like it, but it surprised me very much because I ended up absolutely falling in love with this story. It's such a cute, I feel like I keep saying this, but it's such a cute story because I feel like we are used to shoujo manga that tend to not have the best relationships with the characters. The characters tend to have such horrible relationships. There's no communication. But with this one, the characters, they communicate, and I love that. I love that for them. They communicate, they know how to express their feelings. And in this volume we see that they need to celebrate Christmas together, and there's obviously jealousy, but again, I feel like their relationship is way too strong for that. But it is a shoujo, and it needs to follow the shoujo rules. You all know what I'm talking about. Yes, I enjoyed it very much, and I don't know what else to say about this. So far it's been like every other shoujo out there, except for the communication part and the characters having a healthy relationship. So if you want to read about that, just characters being cute, communicating, knowing how to express your feelings, give this one a try. So I only managed to read the 4th one because although I do like characters that have a good relationship, I have a very special place for this manga. And I know it's not the most healthiest relationship. It's actually very bad, the way this character treats the main girl, but it has a very special place in my heart. And you know what? You all can judge me. I don't mind. I absolutely love this manga, and the way I screamed when I saw it was getting published, y'all have no idea. I was so happy to get Wolf Girl and Black Prince. So that's the first one, the second one, the third one, and the 4th volume was released last month. So you can bet I ordered it already. So here we go. That's the back, where we have beautiful Erika. So let's talk about Wolf Girl and Black Prince. If you have not heard about this, and if you have, you know that a lot of people don't like it, but you know, to each their own. I don't judge. Y'all can judge me, it's fine. So Wolf Girl and Black Prince, we follow Erika and Kyoya. I remember their names, guys. So this is Kyoya and Erika. So Erika is in high school and has been living a lie. She lies to her 2 friends, which I don't remember their names. I don't like them. But she has been lying to them on the fact that she has a boyfriend, which is not true, because she doesn't know how to have a boyfriend. Well, not doesn't know how to, she just doesn't know how to get one. I don't know, I don't think I'm explaining myself. I should be able to do this because this is one of my favorite shoujos of all time, but I feel like I'm messing up. Anyways, so one day her friends are close to finding out on the fact that she's lying to them and that she doesn't actually have a boyfriend, because they have asked to see a photo of him, but Erika is always like no, like he doesn't like to take pictures. And so one day Erika is like, she hears that they're about to find out, and she goes out to walk around and she sees this really hot guy, which is Kyoya obviously, and she goes to take a picture. But look how close this girl is to him. I mean, you should have taken it from afar, but you know. So she takes a photo of Kyoya thinking that she's never going to see him ever again. And the next day she goes to show this photo to her friends. And walking behind him is Kyoya, who is another student in the same school as her. And so they basically, Erika explains to Kyoya what is happening, and Kyoya, being the prince of the school, he's like, of course I can help you. But he's a very evil prince, because he's like, yeah, sure, I'll help you, but you have to be my dog. See, right here. And Erika's like, what? She's like, of course I'm not going to do that. Do you think I'm crazy? But he's like, okay, like, then I'll go tell your friends the truth. And she's like, whoop, okay, never mind, I can do that. And so he basically treats her like his dog. Is like, you need to, whenever I'll call you, you need to show up. But like, although Erika hates him, it's what she says, she obviously starts to develop feelings for him. But Kyoya is the guy that's like, don't fall for me, because I don't like girls that fall for me, apparently. So that's how the story starts. And obviously, this being a shoujo, the characters are going to fall in love. But Kyoya is not going to make it easy for Erika, because like I said, he treats her very badly. He's very rude to her, and it's always like, Erika, what are you doing there? Like, go, leave him alone, forget about him. But I still love this story. So yeah, I feel like this is not a manga that everyone nowadays is not going to like because of how Kyoya treats her. But as someone that watched the anime first, and like when I was very young, I watched the anime and I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to get the physical manga, and now that I have it, I'm going to love it and buy everything and collect it, because like I said, I really enjoyed it. So if you want to read a manga that doesn't have the healthiest relationship, and that relationship starts with our girl being treated like a dog, maybe give this a read. Maybe that's not for you, and that's totally fine. You can read either a signed double fiction or imakoi if you want to read a cute story. But if you want to read something that's dramatic, something that's going to be like, you're going to want to attack or slap one of the characters, read a Wolf Girl. I really do like this one. So let's move on to the last one, which is a manhwa, and that is a business proposal. And I'm going to say that it surprised me. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. So in this business proposal, we follow Hari, who is friends with this rich girl, which again I don't remember her name. So this girl, she's rich, and her father is like asking her to go to blind dates so she can get married, and you know, because she's a girl, she cannot inherit her father's company, and it's to be a guy, blah blah blah. So she goes to a blind date, and it turns out that the blinded is this guy who, let me see, it's this guy who I forgot his name. And so this guy that's his grandpa, who's also asking him to go on blind date so he can get married and start being a family man. And so because he works a lot, he puts his work before dating. So his grandpa is like, you need to go get a wife. And so he sets up this blind date with the friend of Hattie, but the friend asks Hattie to go in her place. Our girl Hattie goes to the blind date, and that's how they meet. And this guy is like, okay, to get my grandpa to stop bothering me to get married, I'm going to marry whoever shows up to this blind date, right? So now Hattie is in trouble because that guy is set on getting married with her, and he won't leave her alone. He's like bothering her, like, we need to continue dating so that I can marry you, and that way my grandpa stops bothering me. It's like, when we get married, I don't care what you do, you can continue to date, you can continue to do whatever you want, I need to get married to get my grandpa to leave me alone. And so towards the end, he finds out that this girl was not his actual date, but it was her. But here's the plot twist, I guess, and it's the fact that she is the new CEO of the company she works. I don't think you guys saw it, sorry. So this guy is the new CEO of the company where Hattie works, which at the beginning of the manga, they're going to welcome him. Oh, his name is Songwon. Yeah. And it's basically the first volume. It's just her trying to figure out how to get him to stop calling her, because he is absolutely not leaving her alone, and he wants to marry to just, you guys, I already mentioned that, but he doesn't want to get married, but he wants his grandpa to leave him alone. So he's like, okay, I'm going to marry her, like, I don't care, like, you can do whatever you want after we're married, but we need to get married. And he won't leave her alone, but he doesn't know yet that she works for him, and she actually figures out that that's her new boss, and so that pushes her more to wanting to get him to leave her alone, because like, I don't want to get fired, right? So that's basically a business proposal. I only have the first volume here, which is all I read, and I did really like it. I enjoyed it. I do plan to continue buying the rest, although it's going to be very slowly because it is $20. My wallet is crying whenever I see that price. And let's move on to, I'm not sure what it is. Is it comedy? Is it shoujo? Is it shonen? I don't know. All I know is that I really liked reading this one. And the manga I'm talking about which is the Yakuza's Biased, I don't know how you pronounce that, but let's talk about it. Can we talk about this art? Isn't this so beautiful? So we follow this Yakuza guy. He's part of the Yakuza. He's been part of the Yakuza forever, and his name is Ken. So it was right there. So Ken gets into K-pop because of her. She is Megumi, the daughter of his boss, and so she's like, hey, go to a concert with me. He's like, a concert? So like, yeah, you need to come, you need to be with me, you're going to be my bodyguard. And so he takes her to this concert, and that's how he gets into K-pop. Which I listen to K-pop, so yeah. And he completely falls in love with this group, which is these guys. His other concert is very intense, and he interacted with his favorite member of the group, which isn't that every K-pop's fan dream? And he's like, his reactions are super funny. So although I feel like this manga doesn't have a lot of plot, I feel like it's just very wacky. Is that the word? Wacky. It's very funny. It's very interesting. That's what it is. It's interesting. It's fun to see a Yakuza member falling completely in love with the K-pop group and becoming this huge fan to the point where he starts to buy K-pop albums of this group, and he starts to he starts fighting with people on who is the best member of the group, and he creates this Twitter account where he becomes very famous because basically he starts to write a fan fiction of one of the members where he's the leader of a Yakuza group and he's part of that group. And yeah, it's so funny. So it's fun to see him. And right here they're like he's going to trade cards with someone who's also a fan of the K-pop group, but it turns out it's a enemy from another Yakuza group. So this guy became fan of that K-pop group, which I honestly don't remember the name. This guy became a fan because he heard how much this guy Ken talked about them, and he was like very curious. He's like, I need to know what made him change. What was the reason? And he spends an entire night watching videos of this group, and he becomes a fan as well. And that's basically the Yakuza's biased, however you pronounce that. It's very funny, it's very interesting. I really did like it because I feel like it's very similar to, what's the name, a husband? Is that the name? I'm going to put a picture of it here, but it's very similar where they get a very tough type of character. You know, characters that tend to be scary, tough in other mangas, but in this one and the other one they make them into normal people, like normal, cute, fun, soft people where, you know, he's having fun, he's living his life. He's like, after so many years I know what happiness is like, and that's I don't know, it's a very wholesome, that's the word, it's a very wholesome type of story. It's funny. I really like this one. So if you're interested in reading, having fun, reading something that's going to make you laugh, reading something that's going to be wholesome, do give the Yakuza's Vias a try. And if you also enjoyed The Way of the House Husband, maybe you're going to like this one. Who knows? Give it a try, give it a read. And yeah, that's all I read for the month of November. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed and liked watching me talk about manga, please give a like to this video, consider subscribing, and yeah, I'll see you all on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all later. Take care. Bye bye.